Hello and welcome to Smaulgld's update on Indian gold imports for the month of November 2017. Well, November 2016 Indian gold imports rose 28% from October, and they were up 9% year over year. Imports of gold into India rose in the midst of the gold giving season and during the shock rupee demonetization announcement. And that demonetization announcement made it very clear that gold would be a preferred asset to hold because the government cannot unilaterally decide on television that gold is no longer worth anything unless you bring it to a bank and turn it in for new gold that they don't have or deposit it into a bank account. So gold has its value irrespective of what the government says, unlike the Indian rupees, which are issued by fiat and given value and also can be recalled by fiat. And the removal of cash from circulation, however, hurt gold imports and gold demand in December. Well, we don't have the official numbers yet, but it was pretty obvious that was going to happen. People spent their existing rupees in November. They rushed to get out of rupees and into gold. But once all of the rupees were either no longer valid legal tender or they had been exchanged for notes or deposited into banks, that left there less cash to purchase gold with. In many instances, people did not get enough enough of their rupees exchanged. There weren't enough rupees to make a one-to-one exchange, so they had to deposit those in the bank. About 10% of them just never got turned in. Some of them that the rest of them that did get turned in, either exchange or in the bank, there's also restrictions on how much money you can take out, how much cash you can take out. So that has put a damper on gold demand and gold sales, and we'll see those numbers going forward. However, November, we had seen a rise from October and then into November as the gold giving season started to ramp up, and also because of the shock announcement. Also, gold prices went down in November and had gone down in October, had been down from their highs earlier in the year, so there was some pent up demand. So India's war on gold continues, but that demonetization didn't really work. They didn't really flush out, I think, what they had hoped to flush out. And probably that was just a ruse to try to transform India into a digital society and to wean the people off of gold rather than to try to capture criminals and fight corruption. So they have done their job in that they have kind of moved away from cash, but they haven't pulled the people away from gold. And the other thing they're trying to do is they are trying to push unsuccessfully to get people to join this gold monetization scheme where they turn in their gold and they get instruments of debt from the where they get paid interest on their gold from the government. Now, if you think about that, if the government can recall your rupees, why would you give them your gold when they can just decide they're going to hold on to your gold and just give you a cash payment? So I don't see, other than mandating people to turn in their gold, why anyone would voluntarily hand the Indian government, after the stunt they just pulled, and say, okay, I'm willing to accept an instrument from you that says you're going to pay me interest for a period of time and then you're going to give my gold back. I don't think I would trust that. It's not because I'm the most skeptical person in the world. It's just the government just went on television and told the people your rupees are not worth anything. It was a unilateral decision, no warning. So I don't see how this monetization plan is going to do well on a voluntary basis. They can give incentives, but unless they create negative incentives like we're going to come and take your gold or we are going to tax you or whatever it is, unless they put some type of negative reason, there's no reason anyone would voluntarily give up their gold to get government issued rupee denominated notes. The government is talking about lowering the import duty from 10 to 6%. Let's get to the charts. That's why a lot of people take a look at this. If you want to see the charts, the better place to see them is on smaulgld.com. I have them in archives. You just go to the, if you want to see Indian gold, all you have to do is go to Smaulgld, go to gold, gold reserve by country, and just going to go down a bit on your screen. And you got all the Indian and gold archives, all the charts for the last few years. Same with China, same with Russia. But in any event, let's take a look at them on the screen here. Indian gold imports since 1999, you can see they've gone up, now they've gone down. They probably won't go much higher. This is through November. They probably won't. I think they did about, the estimates are about 50 to 60 tons in December. We'll get the official number from the Indian Ministry Department. Nick Laird pulls that directly from the website when it comes out. There's a lot of estimates. They're not very good. So you'll probably be under 600 tons of gold, which will put it as the lowest year since 2003. And for a gold buying country, that's a pretty low amount. The last month was high, so November was high, October was high, but the rest of the year, if we take a look, so it wasn't very much. You go here and you see 20 and 30 tons, 40 tons of gold for most of the year on average being imported, and most of those imports, they come through Switzerland. And as we mentioned, India has no domestic mining production, so they have to import all of their gold. Now we're probably going to see, now if December is down in the 50 range, I don't know what January, February, March of next year or this year will be, but I don't expect them to be much higher. Now here's just an interesting point. Now you would say, well, December we had a very low imports into India. India is the biggest gold importing country. January doesn't look much better, so the price is going to drop. You would think that supply and demand, but that's not how it works, because during this period of time the price was falling and Indian gold demand was soaring. So there's a kind of an inverse relationship, because still, for better or worse, what drives, we'll talk about this in the week in review, top gold and silver stories for the weekend January 16th, later today. Gold prices are driven by the futures markets, the LBMA, the COMEX exchanges, where people trade on sentiment, not necessarily based on how much gold they have to sell or how much gold they want to buy, because for the most part they're not buying or selling any gold. They're buying or selling the price of gold, and that's what moves the markets. Also, gold and ETFs help move the market to paper trading and so on. So what's interesting is that the main gold buyers, China and India, will take advantage when the paper price goes down and buy a lot, but that doesn't drive the price up. And then when they can stop buying and the price can still go higher. And that's just the way it currently is because of futures exchanges. And the reason for that is, no matter how much gold or silver the market buys, unless they actually buy it all, to the way there's an actual shortage, and then people have to pay a market price because they actually need to get the metals. Unless there is that dynamic, the paper trading in volume, the digital trading in volume, it dwarfs the amount of gold or silver physical buying. It dwarfs the amount of gold or physical buying on the planet on an annual basis. We saw that in the YouTube that I did on what is the real purpose of the gold futures market. So lots of demand, little demand. It's not gonna in fact impact the price of gold or silver the way it should, because the market is not a physical gold supply demand. It's more based on a sentiment of gold traders, and of course a manipulative aspect of that in the gold trading market. And the reason for that, they can do that, is they can create as much supply as they wish. They can buy as much supply as they wish, and they can sell as much supply as they wish, even though that supply doesn't exist. So that's about it on the gold for India. Please subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're interested in buying gold, you can do so through the Smaulgld site or some of the links I put below to some of the top gold and silver dealers affiliated with Smaulgld. You click on the links and you can go directly to these websites. You pay no more, no less than if you had visited the sites directly. So it's a way of helping out Smaulgld, because I get a small commission on each sale. Also, you can donate to Smaulgld if you like the work we're doing through either PayPal or Bitcoin. Links are below this YouTube video, and they're also on the Smaulgld website. Please make sure to visit the Smaulgld website and also subscribe. Thanks.